Hi guys, we Bob here, and I've already done one video tonight, so I'm out collecting my kids from a club, and I thought I'd try and get the arcade cabinets one done. Not sure I'll have time, it depends, I've only got like 5 minutes, so we'll see if we can get through this quite quickly. So anyway, I did my VR response there to Kev down the rabbit hole, and still no fixed this collar, which was needing done in that video. I fixed this collar plenty of times, but didn't fix the other collar, so everybody's going to be really angry. And if anybody's OCD, they'll be like, fix your collar, fix the collar. Anyway, anyway, so I'm sitting in an abandoned car park. Hopefully nobody can see me and I can go into this video. So anyway, I said it was going to be quick, and I'm just not being quick, which is rubbish and typical of me. So anyway, I went through the cabs that I would like to own if I didn't have an issue with money or space, and that would be brilliant if I did, because then I wouldn't be trying to hide in the house, trying to find somewhere to do my videos. I could just have like my own house for doing videos, and that'd be great. So anyway, my first cab I've got here is Bubble Bobble. Now, I didn't look at cabs in terms of size. I did it for a few of them, but not for most of them. I just looked to see if they meant anything to me, more than if I could fit them in my house. So Bubble Bobble was a game I played massively as a kid on Spectrum, and I think I'm delusional. I think I actually liked it because of all the colours, but the Spectrum wasn't very good at colours. Well, it was very colourful, but it was good at colour clashes and making your character turn green whenever he was in a forest, even if he was blue. So anyway, that's Bubble Bobble. That would be, I've not got them in any kind of order, so I'll try and leave the main one till last. Next one's Darius Cab, which I didn't know existed. I was looking online through these images and I found the Darius Cab, and me and my daughter were playing Darius in the SNES Mini, and it was great. And this cab has like the really long screen, like really long, like longer than any screen I've ever seen. I guess you could maybe get it on your like 55-inch TV, and if you put on some big black borders you could get a similar size of screen nowadays. But this was a 2-player game. It looked amazing. You sat in the cab and you can fight each other and stuff like that. I'm just wary of time, so see if I can get through these now. I need to talk about them a wee bit more I can. So anyway, next one is Rush and Attack, which I believe is a Green Beret type game. I've never played it. I meant to go and look at some footage, but if it is Green Beret, I loved Green Beret as a kid, and it would be great. Stab, 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 run up the ladders, get stuck, stab, stab, stab. That's kind of how Green Beret goes, and then die like a skeleton. So anyway, Star Wars cab has to be in there because it's huge and it's great and it's Star Wars, and who wouldn't have Star Wars? Star Wars is great. I love Star Wars. I wouldn't get into an argument about the movies. I actually like most of them. Anyway, moving on. Star Wars cab looks amazing, doing the canyon run, everything like that looks brilliant. So that's 4 so far. Like I said, I was actually kind of struggling. Pac-Man. I would have to have Pac-Man, not because I absolutely love Pac-Man or anything like that, it's just it's Pac-Man. I mean, if I was to walk into any arcade, I would expect Pac-Man to be there. It's an iconic game, along with Space Invaders, but I couldn't fit 2 into my list, so I chose Pac-Man. But I'm thinking that again. Anyway, I'm not allowed that, so carrying on. Donkey Kong, again, for a very similar reason. I remember playing like versions of it on the Spectrum. I can't remember the name of them. They were probably called something else. I'll need to go and have a look at that because I don't remember what a game on Spectrum called Donkey Kong looked like or played like. But anyway, so that, how many is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. So now I'm trying to make this. I'm not trying to make this video more funny. It's just I'm in a happy mood tonight because the sun's shining, and if you can see Aaron. Can you see Aaron? I don't know whether you can see Aaron, but Aaron's absolutely gorgeous, and the sun's there as well, which is great. Quickly, really have to go into this. Battle Zone. I looked at this cab and it was green and it was really cool. It looked like it had a viewfinder you could look through and you would see the vector graphics and everything would be awesome, and you had like stick control and it just looked awesome. So you had like a wee panel. Look at it online because it's really cool looking, and I don't know, I've never played it. As I say, arcades around the map that never really existed. With the Magnum Leisure Centre, which had maybe Outrun and maybe 1 or 2 other arcade games if you were lucky. It just wasn't a thing when I was a kid. It was more all consoles. The Mega Drive kind of came out when I was, what age would I have been? I don't know. Anyway, I'm losing the plot again here. Operation Wolf. Operation Wolf, I love Operation Wolf, and I did play this in the arcade as a kid. I loved holding the Uzi and just shooting, and I couldn't afford games when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I couldn't afford to go to the arcade and just plough money into it. So I used to kid on when the demo was on. I used to kind of just hold the gun and kid on because I was poor and lonely and had no money. Sad. And how many is that so far? I think I'm down to my last two. Oh, the kids are coming out. So the last two is Gauntlet. Gauntlet was awesome because you could be a wizard and stuff like that, and you could be an archer. And the final one is Turtles in Time, because Turtles in Time was great, and I think I see my kids coming out. So I'm going to go, guys. Turtles in Time was brilliant because I loved turtles as a kid, and I better go and say hello to them before they run across the road and die. That would be horrible. Nah, they're fine. They're big kids. They can deal with themselves. Anyway, we bob out. Hi guys, we Bob here, and I did a vlog on Monday, and I thought I would do a proper vlog. The last vlog I did was to do with a video response thing, and I thought I've not really talked about my week. I'm back in the garage, woohoo! It still looks exactly the same. The main cab is no further forward, and everything's pretty much the same, just busy. It's getting more and more crowded in here though. There's bikes, there's boxes, there'll be spiders hanging around somewhere, and yeah, so no further forward with any plans for in here. I did the wee game room tour, which is under the stairs at the moment, so all my consoles are under there. I haven't had a chance to go in there and play very much. I'm just busy. I wrote down a wee thing to say, I'm going to try and pull this out with it moving the camera. That worked. Good. So I've done, this vlog's going to be added on to the end of, plan is the vlog's going to be added on to the end of the arcade cab one, and I did that really quickly, so I thought I'll add a wee bit in because I didn't get a chance to talk about all the cabs, or the ones that really mean a lot to me, so I thought I'd talk about them a wee bit more. So yeah, this week, I started cycling 2 weeks ago, feeling the difference, it's feeling good. That's me done about 160 miles, I think, in total. Yeah, I did 4 days last week, 4 days this week. I didn't cycle today. I need to go for a haircut at some point soon because it's needing cut. I wish I had good hair, I could grow it long, you know, but I don't have good hair, so such is life. Anyway, this week, gaming wise, I have been playing a lot of Mad Max. And I was trying to get my daughter to come down and help me, because in Mad Max you can set up a cinema mode and you can get the shot that you're looking for with the car maybe coming towards the camera, and you can use two controllers. One person can control the cameras and you can control obviously the vehicle in Max, which becomes a bit difficult, especially if you get into a fight, because then somebody's controlling the camera and won't turn it the way you want them to turn it, and you end up getting beat up because you can't see what you're doing. So yeah, it's been good. I tried to get some footage. I'll maybe try and cut that together. I need to go back through all my videos and see how many videos I've promised to do that I haven't done, because there's quite a few. I think there was meant to do some in Australia and IELTS and the breakdown of that process, and I haven't done any of those. But that's just time. Time is limited. So for instance, Monday we're always doing clubs, so it's taxi service between clubs, and it's kind of bitty. Your time is very segmented, so trying to get a video in and edit it and do it can be a wee bit tricky. So light is right above me. Try and move a wee bit. It's not really helping. Anywho, so other than that, I did the drawing video of the dragon, which was just a fast video for, again, my channel is just whatever I decide to put up. There's no real, I don't have any, it's mainly gaming. I have to say it's mainly gaming, because that's what I spend a lot of time doing, but I also spend a good bit of time doing art, and I have to finish off a game that I made called Doug the Pug. I need to finish that off with the part 2. So my wife was saying to me, why don't I go on with doing some artwork for Doug the Pug? and I thought, okay, and I know there's a Doug the Pug out there. I didn't know when I wrote Doug the Pug, I didn't know there was Doug the Pug out there. I'm shuffling around here, so I need the toilet. So I didn't know there was a Doug the Pug. I call him Doug, D-O-U-G, Doug the Pug, whereas mine is called Doug, like D-U-G, like a Scottish Doug. So that's on the Android store. I think it might be on the Android store. I may need to update my settings, but it costs money at the moment, but I'll need to change that. It needs to get, it's a kid's storybook, interactive storybook, for anybody that wants to go and see if you can see it. I'm going to make it free once I finish part 2, and I'll just put adverts in. I was trying to avoid putting adverts into a kids app, but nobody wants to buy apps these days, so the business model just doesn't work. I do have other games that I've created, so anyway, the point of that was I'm being busy, and going forward I need to manage what I'm putting my time into, because I would like to do apps full time if I could. I'm contract work at the moment, and I'm contracted probably for the next few years, hopefully, and that's mainly electrical stuff. But as a fallback, that's not backfall, it's fallback. My ultimate goal eventually is that if I retire 20, 30 years down the line, I will be able to support myself, and that would be through potentially apps if we've not moved on from apps then. But you can do virtual reality apps and stuff. You can get right into the good thing is most of the tools are free, so you can use Unity 3D for anybody that's interested. Swifto had commented in a few of my videos this week, and I was looking at some of his comic strips, which are great, and he's got a certain distinct drawing style, and it just reminded me. I mean, I grew up drawing comics, trying to be there was a few things I wanted to be when I was at school. One was, I'm totally tangenting here, and so I apologise. This bit is like all over the place, this vlog. But as a kid, I used to draw cartoon strips, and then I wanted to be I had two options that I wanted to be. I wanted to either be a fisherman out in the sea, enjoying the waves and getting puking, and when you see the TV shows, which didn't exist back then, fishing looks like an absolutely horrible, hard, difficult job, which I don't think I would have managed to cope with. But back then, I loved the sea. I lived next to the sea, and I just wanted to be in a fishing boat. But other than that, it was being a cartoonist, and I used to read Garfield all the time, and I used to love reading Garfield and the Beano and Dandy, and I wanted to be a cartoonist at that point or something like that. So yeah, time is, I've actually lost the train of where I was going with that. But basically, time is precious. I've got Doug the Pug to finish. I've got apps that I want to do. I've got drawings I want to do. I want to play games. I want to play Mad Max. I want to play Black Flag. Looking forward to Red Dead Redemption. I'm looking forward to actually playing Grand Theft Auto again. I wouldn't mind playing that from the beginning, the Grand Theft Auto 5, because I do enjoy Grand Theft Auto. I do. So yeah, I've written a wee. So arcade thing. I didn't think I'd be able to come up with arcade cabs, because arcades they're not in my memory as being a big thing. I remember arcades being there, and I think they weren't a big thing for me because I never had money to put into them. And by the time I did have money, arcades were no more. By the time I had money, the PlayStation 1 and 2 had already came out, so arcades had died a death by then. But I did play arcades, and my favourite arcade was Turtles in Time. I remember watching that. And I did say here that if I had a cab, if I could only choose one cab, that would be the cab I chose, would be the 4-player Turtles cab. That would sit nicely in the corner of this room if it ever gets done up. So yeah, that's for the arcade stuff. I did say I was going to do a MAME cab. It's amazing, you come up with all these mad ideas in your head, and you try to get time to do them. And then my videos are sometimes rushed, so I'm trying to edit it. For instance, the drawing one was a bit out of focus, and I was really quite not angry. I was annoyed about that. I was annoyed that the camera. I was trying a different camera setup, but I think I need to go find. I've got a GoPro somewhere. I'm going to try and get that set up because that hopefully I can have a wee bit more control over where that's sitting. Whereas I used the webcam for the artwork. But there's so many ideas that I would love to do. I'm busy most of the time, which is great because it just helps the days go in and for happiness to bloom. I was trying to get the Spectrum emulator up and running, and again the MAME side of things. I've got my Raspberry Pi that I had before. I was going to get RetroPie set up on that, and I will do at some point. This is rubbish. So anyway, for the channel, I guess it's a wee channel update. I'm trying to find my way. I'm not going to be sticking to gameplays or anything like that. It will just be whatever I fancy doing. It'll be a mixture of artwork and perhaps some of the stuff I'm doing on games, programming apps. But obviously you've got to hold those cards a wee bit closer to your chest. I've got so many ideas for games that I think nobody's ever came up with, which doesn't seem possible with the market being saturated the way it is, and maybe the game exists. And when I did Doug the Pug, there wasn't I think what the right word is. I searched through for anything kind of similar, and it was based on some similar apps where it was for a child to read a storybook, and it was to give them some interaction and some stickers and things like that. So you can have a look at the Doug the Pug. Doug the Pub sounds pretty good. Maybe that's the wee guy you go and get a pint with on a Friday. But you can have a wee look if you want to see that. I'm going to try and get it finished. I have been trying to get the RetroArch and the MAME up and running on the computer, and again it's just time. So everything's time. So anyway guys, I just wanted to give a kind of update. There's no really entertainment to this video unless you like watching my other videos, and I just will leave it there. So cheers guys, and wee Bob out.